Hey folks, Jim and Leila here for Geeking Out episode 184!
Yay!
It's the beginning of Marvelous March!
Yay! All Marvel books.
All Marvel books all this month. No gimmicks whatsoever.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So let's get it started with a little something I like to call Spider-Man in space!
Nice.
Alright. So this is Amazing Spider-Man number 680, and in it, Spidey and the recently back from the dead Human Torch team up 22,300 miles above the Earth to rescue John Jameson from Dr. Octopus.
Huh. What's Dr. Octopus doing in space?
Using little spider bots, apparently.
Oh, okay.
To capture astronauts.
Okay.
Alright, so, as always, Spider-Man, Human Torch, Quip-a-palooza.
Yeah.
There's,
I quip you, I quip you, I quip you!
There is so much quipping in here, it makes it worth the read.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a pretty standard Spidey story, but the quips just made it worthwhile to read. And it is hilarious, because Human Torch is recently back from the dead. He's trying to catch up on TV. Yeah. Spider-Man ruins it all by telling him all the things that have happened.
When does Spidey have time to watch TV? Like, seriously?
Yeah, I know.
He's on like 15 teams and...
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. But... suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, I know. But still, it was a fun issue, and it's the first time I've read Spider-Man in quite a few years, so I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
It was an interesting read, nice art, and of course the quips just made it hilariously fun to read, so I liked it. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you're going to like it too.
Mark that on the calendar, folks. Jim liked a superhero book.
He was Spidey and he
Check
quit.
That date. Check that date. Okay. Next up, we've got Venom 13.4. This is Circle of 4, Part 5. I hope this ends soon.
You'll never be free.
Anyway, last issue, Venom, Red Hulk, X-23, and Ghost Rider died in their attempt to stop Blackheart from spreading hell over the earth.
Wait. Isn't Ghost Rider already kind of dead? I mean, undead?
The spirit of vengeance is a spirit, but still goes into a living human host.
I know.
So anyway, their souls are captured by Mephisto, who for a price has given them a second chance at life in order to go back and defeat Blackheart. So in this issue, Doctor Strange and Damian Hellstrom fight to contain Hell and the Spirit of Vengeance, which now has no host and is on the loose.
Yay?
Yeah. But the Spirit, of course, because Johnny Blaze is around, detects him and races to go and join again with him, but it's captured and taken to Blackheart instead. And the four return to Earth and decide to work together against Blackheart and formulate a plan to suck Hell back down and retrieve the Spirit of Vengeance. That's pretty much the story. Okay, it was a pretty good issue. I gotta say, I do admit to saying, what? For the last page. Not sure if I like where they're going with it, but at least I didn't see that last page coming, and that's saying a lot because I read a lot of books. So you got to give it to them there. At least I didn't see where this is going to maybe end. And who knows, this could have ramifications later, because I'm pretty sure that Mephisto having control of your soul is not a good thing. So who knows if that's going to...
I know, Mephisto's had control of my soul for years, and I'm doing perfectly good.
He just hasn't cashed in yet, see? That's what it is.
Okay.
When he cashes in, I'm sure that's going to be bad. You just don't know if it's going to be in this series or years down the road.
I will destroy you! I mean, no.
So, but otherwise, you know, I'm for the most part enjoying this run on Venom, but I am kind of getting ready for this whole thing to wrap up.
Let's hope it's soon.
Yeah, yes.
Next up, we have Moon Knight, number 10. And in this one, Moon Knight succumbs to one of his new personalities when the Kingpin of LA pushes him over the edge. Can Moon Knight come back and fight for the survival of Los Angeles? Not really.
No.
Interesting plot. I had to read back a bit for what's going on in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But basically, this Moon Knight has multiple personalities.
That makes it kind of interesting.
It's interesting. It's an interesting character trait for the character, because he doesn't know where he is and when other characters take over, so it's an interesting character trait.
Yeah.
It makes for an interesting dynamic. But art-wise, it's a little muddy. It's kind of Jay Lee-ish.
Okay.
But really more muddy than that.
They got a lot of shading in it, probably.
Yeah, it's a very pencil-y look to it. And I don't think this works really well in color.
Okay.
I think this might have worked a lot better in black and white, personally.
Really?
Personally. Yeah. Just the style of the artwork, I think, would work fantastically well in black and white.
I think the character kind of leans itself that way, that it could work too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay. It's not great. I mean, if you're a Moon Knight fan, you're probably going to enjoy it. But as for me, I'm not a big fan of it, so I can't really recommend it. But as I said, if maybe if they tried it as an issue in black and white, then maybe it would work better.
Yeah.
But for me, the artwork is a bit muddled here, and it just doesn't work in color.
Okay.
So that's just my thoughts.
Okay, so because I promised, because of the big events coming up, Avengers versus X-Men starting in April, I'm going to try and do as much Avengers and X-Men stuff leading up to that point. So, further to that goal, this is Avengers number 23. Now, I had to, again, go and look at it previously and figure out what's going on up to here, but previously, Norman Osborn escaped incarceration and was joined by ex-SHIELD agent Washington, who brought with her superpowered secrets of the entire superhero community. That seems like probably bad for everybody.
Pretty much, yeah.
As the Avengers are set to announce their new lineup, because we always have to have new lineups, Osborn shows up at the press conference to accuse them of a litany of crimes. And the Avengers split up to find him, but are ambushed at every turn, and now only Quake and Vision remain to find Osborn and the captured Avengers. So then we get to this issue. The President agrees to meet with Osborn to hear his demands, which are many. And Quake locates the captive Avengers at a hidden lab. The biggest question is, what are Norman's scientists doing, and what will Norman's new powers mean for the Avengers? Okay, wow. This was a great issue. I love Bendis as a writer.
He is good.
Yeah, love it. It's so good. I love revisiting kind of the days of Civil War and Siege where, you know, Norman's in charge and the good guys are the bad guys, and the bad guys are supposed to be the good guys. I like all of that. It's just so interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the art here, but it doesn't distract either. It's just not my cup of tea. But overall, like, just a great issue. And it threw me back to that whole Civil War Siege deal, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if this will inform on Avengers versus X-Men at all, but I really enjoyed this one, and if you're not reading an Avengers book right now, apparently this one is a good one.
Holy crap. Did you just see that?
See what?
Sasquatch just walked outside. Go, go, go! Get the photo of it now! Quick, quick, quick! Now that she's out of the way, let's talk about Ralph Wiggum Comics #1. And in this one, everyone's favorite road model has his first solo adventure as he takes a day off school, is left home alone, and becomes a role model to a new kid in town. Okay, if you're a fan of The Simpsons, you're gonna love reading this book. It is hilariously funny, and is one of the better one-shots in a long time. This is hilariously funny, and I loved it to death. If you're a fan of Simpsons, you're gonna absolutely love it. The storylines are hilarious, and Ralph's a fun character to read about, so check this one out. It's totally worth reading.
Jim, I don't know what you're talking about. There was nothing out there. I didn't see any Sasquatch. There's nothing out there but Snooki. She's like signing autographs and telling people all about how she's pregnant. Seriously.
What?
Yeah, right out front.
I am getting my shotgun and I'm ending this. I'll be right back.
I'm telling you, just right across the street, by the convenience store, she's got a Slurpee.
Slurpee?
Yep. Okay, so now the Jim's out of the way. We can't just do all completely Marvel books when an awesome DC book comes out, like Batman Beyond Unlimited #1. Okay, so In this one, they have kind of two stories. In the first one, it's called 10,000 Clowns. Terry keeps running into the Jokers, which is like a crew that idolizes the Joker and his methodology. So he begins to take out the crews one at a time, but more keep coming in from other cities. They seem to be testing him, though, because he's always able to beat them, and there's not ever more than he can handle. And who is the man in the shadows trying to pull their strings and scrutinizing his every move? Meanwhile, Bruce and Commissioner Barbara Gordon try and figure out what their angle might be, and Max is on the trail of Undercloud, a criminal hacker collective. And then the second story, called Constriction, Terry and the Justice League Beyond aim to put an end to splicing, which is like an illegal genetic animal augmentation. And there's a militant group known as the Animal Kingdom that has surfaced, and they're trying to battle the Jokers for their control of the drug. And as they wage battle on each other, the JLB moves in to strike for a 2-for-1 blow, but then they're called suddenly back to base by Superman, who tells them that Cobra is up to no good, and Venom is shocked to learn that Micron might be involved. So fans of Batman Beyond are really going to like this. There's lots of action and the classic Terry quips, which are so cool. I enjoyed the first story a lot more than the second one. It just was a little bit more engaging. I love the story by Beechin, and it had gorgeous art by Norm Brayfogle, who I don't think I've ever seen anything of before, but I thought this was awesome. So if you have a chance, please pick up Batman Beyond Unlimited #1. It was so, so good. Just in time. Waiting on you, Jim. I finished my review.
I didn't see Snooki, but I saw some sort of weird creature that looked like Snooki, so I killed it anyway. Just to be safe.
That sounds good.
Alright.
Yeah, I totally did my review while you were gone. I hope you don't mind.
What was it?
A Marvel book.
Oh, okay. Well, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about a book from last week, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy and the Wizard in Oz, #5. And in this one, how can Dorothy and the Wizard and their friends escape when even the wizard's bullets prove useless against strange creatures? And then there are also dragons.
When did the wizard get bullets?
He's always had a gun.
Really?
Yeah.
In a kid's book?
Yep.
Really?
Well, don't forget, this is way back in 1900s, so...
Yeah, I know, but okay.
But, yeah, this is a fun little, perfect for kids book. I'm just not a fan of Scotty Young's art.
Still not? He's so, it's tied to this book now.
Yeah, I know. But... it's whimsical and everything, but when you have Eric Shanower writing it, I want to see him draw it, too. I miss his Oz stuff.
Yeah.
I love his Oz stuff. And it's not enough for me to just get a cover every now and then. Yeah. I mean, I love his Oz stuff. It would be great for him to do... just a one-shot would be great. I would buy the hell out of that book.
Yeah.
But I can't unappreciate Scotty Young's art. It is good. I just don't think...
kind of fits with what
kind of fits, but it also doesn't fit. It's stylistically here and there, but, I mean, people like it, so I'm not going to judge it.
Yeah, I really like how he does certain characters.
Oh, I do too. The style in some characters is great, while in others it does not work at all. But as for it being a kid's book, it is a perfect kid's book. If you've never had a kid read any of the Wizard of Oz books, and there's many, this is a perfect introduction to that world and a really good way to bring a kid some magic. And that's always a good thing in my book.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Even though I might not like Scotty Young's art in this book, I do really love the story and the characters, and that's what really matters.
I'm glad that they're doing the Oz books like this.
As am I, because it's been so long since any of the Oz books have been seen print, so this is the only real way to get it other than, well...
yeah, exactly.
trying to find the books.
And last for me, we've got Astonishing X-Men #47. So, previously in the book, Cyclops was captured by the Savior and imprisoned alongside versions of his fellow X-Men from alternate realities.
Always with the alternate realities.
So, learning that Savior plans to drain their mutant energies to save his dying planet, thus killing the X-Men in the process, Cyclops and his fellow prisoners attempt to escape. So, in this issue, Scott Storm and General James Howlett interrogate the Savior, and Scott learns that he could save the world and save the other X-Men, but not without a cost. But Scott kind of has his own plans and double-crosses the Savior, who then plots to consume their entire reality out of anger. Will Scott and the others be able to stop him?
No.
I'm thinking maybe yes, but I don't know. So it was just okay for me. It kind of wraps up all of a sudden the story. Like you're like, oh, this is looking bad. This is looking bad. Okay, good. Everything's okay. What? Wait, how did everything be okay? It's really
magic.
You know, I actually turned the page back and went, wait, I must have missed a page. So I'm not sure how it all came together so well, but it did. And it I don't know, it could be, again, because I'm jumping onto the end of a storyline, because this is like the very last one. But I did go back and look at what was going on. So again, it was like, was I missing a page? So I just think that Paca asks a lot of the reader, like a lot of you just make that leap. And I'm not sure if I didn't make the leap. But the art by McKeown is spot on. It is really excellent. And I mean, this has been a long time since I came back to an Astonishing X-Men book, because I read it for a while when Joss was doing it, and then I pretty much didn't like it when Garth Ennis was doing it, so I was like, okay, I'm kind of out. But, you know, I think that Greg Pak's doing a pretty good job, at least from what I've read here, other than, you know, just taking that big turn in the story that I was like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I don't know what the Ghost Cube is all about. Maybe I need to look that up. But, you know, otherwise,
it's a cube of ghosts.
You know, but otherwise it was a very entertaining story, and you know, while it might not be my favorite X-Men book, I think that it is, you know, improving. It's growing on me.
All right, that's it for this week. We will see you next week for another fascinating installment of Geeking Out and a part of Marvelous March. See you next week.